Hello, my name is Hannah Lee Fromm, and I will be presenting my culminating project for the internship I participated in this spring semester. This semester, I interned at the Center of Recovery and Exercise, more commonly known as CORE, as a neuroexercise technician. The mission statement of this facility is moving past paralysis. In other words, giving those who are affected by neuromuscular injuries or diseases a supportive environment to meet their goals both inside and outside of the gym. Dylan Oliver was my preceptor this semester. He is a UCF alumni who graduated with a bachelor's degree in sports and exercise science. He is an ACSM certified personal trainer and an AEA certified aquatic fitness professional. I met with him often throughout this semester to discuss my progress as an intern and also to share ideas about my culminating project. Being an intern here at CORE helped me prepare for a future career in physical therapy by giving me experience working with special populations, teaching me to think creatively rather than from A to B, and preparing me to interact with a variety of patients, all with different backgrounds and stories. A typical day as an intern consists of a block schedule of training sessions to assist with that changes every week. There are 4 different types of training sessions that interns can assist with. There's activity-based training sessions, Aqua training sessions, fit classes, and rock steady boxing. I assist the trainer leading the session in any way they might need, whether that be assisting in spotting an exercise, helping set up and break down equipment, setting up neurostimulation devices, or helping with wheelchair transfers. We were given the chance to choose and follow a track from the 4 options previously mentioned, and the one that interested me the most was the Aqua track. My interest in their Aqua training sessions prompted me to choose that same route for my culminating project. My project I would identify as an investigation of discovery. I wanted to use the knowledge I've gathered from both my coursework here at UCF in the kinesiology program and my experience as an intern at CORE to create a research-backed Aqua exercise program that all the trainers at CORE can use. The overall goal of my program is to improve overall health and get clients moving, but I am specifically focusing on increasing strength in the lower extremities and improving cardiovascular health for this population. So now I will pull up my project. Okay, let me go back to the first page. So my first page of this project is a notes to trainer page. So Dr. Red, while we met last week, I believe, we talked about adding this in. So at the top, I have a disclaimer basically saying if you are reading this document, you're either a core neuro exercise specialist who is qualified to run sessions in the pool, or you are an assistant or intern that's just looking over the program. And then I have a few notes that they can look at if they're confused about anything in the program. I have them all cited, like, or referenced here in the program at some point. They'll see a 1 and they can go back to the number 1 and see what I mean by a certain thing that I said in the program if there's any confusion. So I have those notes there. Those should be helpful. And then the second page is my progression plan. So I have this organized by 2 mesocycles. The first, or both of them, are 3 weeks, take place over 3 weeks. And then the client would come in for 1 session a week for 1 hour each. The first mesocycle are the original exercises I chose for the program. So we have step ups, lateral step ups, standing setup around the world. So that basically means just having them in a standing setup with their knees and ankles mobilized, like staying still. And then I have forward walking on the treadmill and backwards walking just on the floor. And then the second mesocycle demonstrates the progression. So you can see from step ups, I go step ups to knee drive. Walking on the treadmill becomes adding a weight to the side like a farmer's carry or increasing the resistance or speed, and etc. You can see that I've organized this by the movement and its purpose. So I have the type of movement that I'm adding into the program, as well as a regression. So just in case they can't do the first mesocycle exercises that I've chosen, there's an appropriate regression for that exercise. So the next page I have is the warm-up. So you'll notice that it starts with something called Watsu, and that is a technique that some physical therapy places use, as well as spas, where basically the assistant or the trainer holds on to the client and like flows them throughout the pool. And it basically is meant to loosen up the spinal area of the client, and then also just prevent spasticity and just increase range of motion and relaxation. So I have more evidence about that in the evidence page, but I just thought I'd clarify what that even is. Followed by flutter kicks. And of course, if they're not able to do this by themselves, they would be given assistance, followed by some static stretching just to loosen up that area. And then I have my program itself. So as you can see, it's still organized by mesocycle. I have weeks 1 through 3 here on the left, and then weeks 4 through 6 on the right. You can see the progressions that I've outlined in the progression plan. You can see that from the first mesocycle is a progression in the next. I have it organized by the exercise itself, along with the equipment that's needed, weight, if it's appropriate, like adding a dumbbell or more weights on the ankles. I have my reps, time, and rest, so like the work to rest ratios, as well as like how many reps to do. And then I have the sets that I want completed. And that goes for all of these. You can see that I have forward and backward walking highlighted here, just to clarify that's a superset. The backward walking is meant as an active recovery in between walking bouts. So, yep. And then you can see I have some numbers here that brings them back to the notes to trainer page. So if there's any confusion about what I've written in the program, they can go back to that page. I also should clarify that everything I've written here is written in a way that the trainers at Core will understand. So I have fit to size and abilities for the ankle weights, because it just depends on how able they are to lift their legs, how tall they are, how much they weigh, etc. And that's pretty much it for my program. So I will go to my evidence page. So this is the big bulk of my project here. I have 2 tables organized by my claim that I'm making about the program, the evidence that I found supporting that claim, and then the citation in APA format of that article. So for example, I mentioned Watsu earlier. So I claimed that Watsu is an appropriate addition to this program because it increases range of motion, promotes relaxation, and reduces spasticity. And the evidence that I found was that including Watsu is connected to lower muscular tone and stiffness, translating to less spasm and increased range of motion. And these can be relevant preconditions for successful exercise. So that is the evidence I found for Watsu being in the program. And then I have the relevant citation here. You can also see that I've used the strength and conditioning textbook as a resource in multiple areas, especially here in my periodization choices. And then I found some really interesting articles about underwater walking, both forwards and backwards, that I cited here. And yes, so the main point of this is that every decision I've made, down to the exercise, down to the work to rest ratios, the reps and sets, as well as just the relevance of aquatic therapy programming, or aquatic exercise programming rather, is supported by evidence and cited. And lastly, I have the reference sheet. This is just a wrap up of this page, if you will, just a formal APA reference sheet with all the sources that I've used in alphabetical order. So that concludes my project. I'm really glad I chose this route for my project, because I believe that this gave me experience in creating making evidence-based decisions to create a program, as well as working with special populations and keeping those factors in mind. So I think those things will help me as a physical therapist in the future. So that concludes my project, and thank you very much.